The SolidWorks certification program is a collection of SolidWorks certification exams and testing system exclusively for testing the mastery of SolidWorks by our users. Our whole certification program, our whole certification system is completely online.
I'm Dan Riffle from the University of Colorado. I am a certified SolidWorks expert, and I'm a teaching professor for the university. Students reap a lot of benefits from the SolidWorks certification program. They earn a credential. That's huge. It's a way to set yourself apart on your resume. A lot of companies, in fact, are looking for certification in their job searches. When I was building our CAD program at the university, the students actually take the CSWA as their final exam.
I was interested in becoming certified because I've been using SolidWorks for the Formula SAE team that I'm on for about 4 years now, and I wanted to take the next step to show that I know what I'm doing in SolidWorks.
I started with SolidWorks since I was in second year in university, in Sudan University. The reason why I encourage every student to get certified, the opportunity that you got through certification. For instance, for me, I get involved in the international community, and also I got opportunity to get outside my country, experience new stuff, working to implement all of the knowledge that I got through working on certification to make it into real life. And also in my personal level, it's kind of like a greater recognition for me.
The certification, like CSWA specifically, it's really a familiarization with the software. It's understanding where to find the tools, how to troubleshoot, how to understand how you move within the software. So fairly easy to get trained up on that. The CSWP is more of a speed test, right? You have the same amount of time, but 50% more information. I'm seeing more and more students coming into my class who already have certification, so we also offer the professional level exams for those students.
The first time taking the test, I feel a little bit scared, but when I got it's kind of one opportunity for me.
Taking the test, I was a little bit nervous to begin with, to be honest, because it was a pretty big deal. But once I got through it and saw my score, I was super excited and happy.
So the certification is one of the ways that I like to have an assessment for myself, I'm doing well or not. So when they see my LinkedIn profile, I got a certification, they didn't hesitate to reach out to me man, we need your service for this stuff. So it's kind of an opportunity for me to do that.
I would wholly recommend to get your certification in SolidWorks if you have the opportunity to. It would only help you in the future. As I go into trying to get a new job and go into an actual career, having that on my resume is going to be a big deal for me.
I always recommend certification in each one of the classes that I teach. Each year in my department, I certify over 300 people, and in the College of Engineering, we're probably about 500 people a year. My seniors, who got the CSWA when they were freshmen, they're like, I'm going into the job market, can I take the CSWP? And I'm like, you bet. We'll get you set up and you'll be ready to launch. You are constantly improving your performance, if you're constantly improving your understanding, you are going to be better at your job.
You have things to make, from the practical to the incredible. Imagining the biggest ideas right down to the tiniest details, you make real things for the real world. We have the design solutions to make them happen, bringing your visions to life, quickly, easily, accurately, wherever and whenever inspiration strikes. SolidWorks was built by engineers and designers, for engineers and designers, a global but close-knit community of learners, teachers, doers, and makers who care about camaraderie as much as we care about technology, and we care a lot. But turning the hypothetical into the physical is a team sport. That's why we're consistently enhancing our software based on your direct feedback, infusing it with the latest technology, and increasing its capabilities to meet your specific needs. For more than 30 years, we've been evolving with you, making product development more accessible, scalable, sustainable, enjoyable, Investing in the future, your future, with cloud technologies, real-time collaboration, artificial intelligence, and beyond. And we're just getting started. SolidWorks is everywhere. Whoever you are, whatever you need, we've got it covered. You make the future. We help make it possible.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Good morning, anywhere you are in the world. So it's time for part 3 of our SolidWorks Essentials training. Ayan. And before we begin, inviting everyone to join our Facebook group. It's SolidWorks Users Philippines. Also, if you have questions, please do connect with me in LinkedIn. The name is Jomark Bakiran. So I'm also a mechanical engineer. And yes, we have a raffle draw requesting everyone to comment down hashtag Happy New Year. Big H, capital H, capital N, capital Y at SolidWorks Users Philippines to join our raffle draw. So we currently have 7 entries. Okay, so yep, Happy New Year to Amrutha. Sir Ivan, Happy New Year. JN, Rogen, Sir JM, Ma'am Angeli, Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Sir Ivan Israel Vicencio, Happy New Year, sir. Also, we are in LinkedIn. We also have a SolidWorks community in LinkedIn. It's named as SolidWorks Users Worldwide. And finally, if you're into building information modeling, inviting you to join us in BIM Philippines. If you're interested in construction, please do join us as well in our Facebook group. Okay, comment down hashtag Happy New Year to join our raffle draw. Fungineer, Happy New Year. Sir John, looking forward to your next CAD class. Okay. So recall yesterday we gave you an assignment. Again, we requested everyone to create the sketch for this model. Curious to know if someone have created this. Again, the goal is to create this challenge into a single sketch, like what you are currently seeing right now. So later on, before we end the live stream, we will be doing this as well. And of course, let's switch back to the essentials and the very basics to help you be familiarized and to help you be inspired to continue further on practicing and learning assembly in SolidWorks. Okay, so I want you to screen capture. This is our challenge activity this afternoon. I want you to screen capture this. Pause the video, screen capture. So notice with this assembly, we have 4 parts. A very simple assembly, right? 4 parts, 4 components, 4 parts. Okay, again, requesting everyone to screen capture. For those who are asking about the raffle, for the raffle draw, we will be sending you the links, or we will distribute the links, the prizes, probably this evening or tomorrow, Sunday. Shout out to Sir JFPV. Thank you, sir. Okay, so I hope you have screen captured the challenge. And of course, again, joining with me, together with me, and is Brielle. So I am currently trying to do my best to teach her as well SolidWorks, and ultimately to inspire this young lady to be in the STEM profession. Ayan. Thank you for joining us, Brielle. Okay, so again, we have 4 parts. Let's hit Control N. So, again, an assembly consists of parts. And parts, of course, consists of sketches, probably sketches, right? That's why we're iterating the importance of how to quickly draw, how to quickly create a sketch, and to how to understand relations and how it fits or how it is used in conjunction with parametric modeling. Okay, so we have 4 parts. Let me ask our guest student, what do you prefer, Brielle? What do we create first? Okay. So again, going back to our challenge, notice here all the parts. If I'm going to ask you, who is the parent part here, right? So the parent part, where all the parts attaches, is definitely the plate, right? So in this moment, because of that, we will first be creating the plate component. So again, going back to SolidWorks, creating part. So double click on this part. Let's save this right away. Hitting Control S. Control S. And I have already have my target location. So naming this as plate. So I hope you're very comfortable with creating this simple parts, right? So this is just a rectangle with 2 holes. Okay, so let's now begin. So for me, again, we prefer that whatever we see on the isometric view, of course, that should be the same position as well when we hit isometric view in SolidWorks. So if you're going to sketch plate, definitely we'll be sketching on the front plane. And of course, again, making things, so notice the geometric center of this rectangle. So again, requesting everyone to make sure that the origin coincides with our geometric center. So for Brielle, I would be suggesting she should have started with creating a center rectangle. Once more, requesting everyone to follow along. We're currently creating the first part. So for Brielle, I'm suggesting that the origin, currently she placed the origin at the lower left, suggesting this origin should be again at the geometric center or at the center of our rectangle. So sharing my screen again. Let's sketch on the front plane. Selecting sketch. So again, there's a center rectangle command. Left click on our origin, grabbing smart dimension. Dimension for this to be 40. Selecting these two vertical lines, keying in 120. Let's bring out the two circles. I prefer sketching them here. Creating a line from this center point to this center point. Making this line perfectly horizontal. Again, adding horizontal relation. Turning this line into a construction geometry. Making sure that these two circles, selecting these two circles, equal in diameter. So adding the equal relation. Grabbing our smart dimension. Radius or diameter for these two holes is 10. So once more, showing you the activity. Yep, highly agree with Ivan. Thank you, Sir Ivan Vicencio, for joining us. Hoping everyone is, again, requesting everyone to follow along. So let's check Brielle's work. Sharing her screen. I suggest for Brielle try to move those blue circles. Hit escape. Okay. So from that movement, I am seeing she needs to add a horizontal relation. So I suggest for you, Brielle, select those the center point. It can be the center point of that two circles and then selecting the center point of, okay, it's now fully defined. So Brielle may now extrude this. Let me catch up, sharing my screen. So the center to center distance is 80. And for me, I'm going to select this construction line and our origin and adding the midpoint relation. So we have a difference on attack. Me and Brielle exiting out of the sketch, selecting extruded boss base, again making things at the center. So for direction, I'm going to change this to mid plane and the thickness to be 15. So we're now done with our first part. Again, sharing the challenge. Brielle, what do you prefer we do next? The link or the cross link? The link or the cross link? Okay, so she mentioned cross link. So let's go back. Control N, creating another part. Double left click this icon, this image. Hitting Control S to save this right away and naming this to cross link. So again, showing you the drawing. It has a center to center distance of 80, diameter of those holes to be 10, thickness of the cross link to be 10, radius of that arc is also 10. So for Brielle, again, you should create a new sketch, a new part, Control N. Delete sketch 2. Suggesting you go back as well to that previous part and delete that sketch. Okay. It's now okay. So sharing my screen, let's create that cross link, hitting L for line and sketching on the front plane. So again, let's utilize the line tool, which creates an arc as well. So left click, and going back to that endpoint. Notice it turns into a orange dot. Going back, pulling out, and notice it now becomes an arc. So left click, going back, it's now an arc, and left click on this endpoint. Let's create the circle once more. When we hold our right mouse button, so notice we have the circle command tool. So notice if I move to the right, we're activating the circle command. So creating circles here, hitting S and selecting smart dimension. This one to be 10. And notice as well here, this circle and this arc needs to be having a concentric relation. Possibly these two circles, this arc and circle as well, selecting concentric. Hitting S for smart dimension, selecting the center point and the center point. Keying in 80. And resizing this circle. So notice by resizing this, it's obvious that this circle and this circle needs to have an equal relation. So next, let's align my next intent. Instead of creating a horizontal line, let me align the midpoint. So when I hover over here, there's an indication. The orange color, this dot, indicates that this is a midpoint. So selecting this midpoint, holding control, selecting our origin, aligning this midpoint and our origin vertically. Same with our center point. Again, center point and our origin, aligning them both horizontally. So notice again, this time I forgot. Oh, Brielle is already done. Great job, Brielle. Also, Brielle, make sure again that that was extruded via midplane. Okay, sharing my screen. Let me catch up. So resizing the circle. By resizing this, it's telling me that I need to add a dimension. So the diameter to be 10. Exiting out of our sketch. Selecting extruded boss base. Twirling this down, selecting sketch. And for direction, selecting mid-plane. And again, the thickness for our crosslink to be 10. So making sure it's 10 and hitting enter. So next, our next target part would be the link. So notice the link L and link R, it has a cylindrical protrusion which has a distance of 15 and 10. So same procedure with our crosslink. Again, the difference is it has a protrusion. So let's see Brielle's screen. So for Brielle, I suggest that she should also select those two circles too. My suggestion. I'm going to be selecting everything, all contours. So for Brielle, she's currently using IPS, inch pound second. It's okay as long as, of course, the values are correct. So Brielle suggesting you select mid plane. So the thickness should be 5, not 7.875. So it's my turn. So again, for my sketch, again, this is my screen. So this one, notice, obviously this needs a tangent relation. Same with this arc and line, tangent relation. Let's now add dimensions, selecting smart dimension, radius for this, 10 as well. Let's create 2 circles. So I prefer creating all of the sketch. It's also possible that you initially just create the slot, extrude, and then create another sketch for these 2 circles. Diameter for this circle is 10. So making these 2 circles having an equal diameter, selecting equal relation. Again, aligning this midpoint and our origin vertically, the center point and our origin horizontally. Hitting S, selecting smart dimension, selecting these 2 centers, center point, value to be 30. And exiting out. Oh, now it's all black, which means this is fully defined. Let's exit out of this sketch, selecting extruded boss base, selecting the sketch, which is sketch 1, and selecting this drop down. Notice contours is currently sketch 1. I'm going to add this contour. There's 3 contours. Deleting sketch 1. And again, for direction, making sure things are at the middle or center. Selecting mid plane. Thickness to be 5. Okay. And next, we're going to reuse that previous sketch which was consumed by the boss extrude 1. So I can make that sketch visible, selecting extruded boss base, twirling this down, selecting sketch. So for the contour, selecting this drop down, going to clear the selection. So selecting that region, pulling this out. So for the direction, changing this to blind, pulling this to the other direction, and let's check our drawing. So again, we're coming in, we're extruding from the center or from the front plane. So we have to compensate. Going to type in 2.5, half of the thickness, plus 15. Hitting enter. So I have just showed you that we can, of course, do MDAS, mathematical operation, inside that dialog box. and selecting the green check mark. Making sure, of course, this is boss extrude, not cut extrusion. Okay, Brielle is already done. Sharing Brielle's screen. So sharing my screen, again coming from this mid plane, this plane. So again compensating 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 10, or in other words 12.5. Making sure merge result is enabled. Control 7 for isometric view, and we can now turn off the visibility of sketch. So selecting hide. So to check as well, you may head over to our ribbon, specifically the Evaluate tab, selecting Measure, selecting this face and this cylinder's face. So again, confirm this has a 10. The direction or the distance for the cylinder is, or the height is 10 millimeters. So we now have all of the parts complete. I want you to hit Alt. So when we hit Alt, on the upper left, we have a window suggesting we tile this horizontally or vertically. So this is currently the parts that are opened. Got it? So next, let's now merge these parts or create an assembly. So Brielle, everyone, I want you to hit Control N. This time selecting assembly. And again, I'm going to hit Alt on my keyboard to conjure window, selecting tile horizontally. The first method of bringing in parts. So of course, our parent part or component is the plate. So the first part that will come in or will be brought in to our assembly will be plate. So I'm going to head over. For me, the position or the window for the plate is in the lower left of my screen. Selecting plate, drag and drop. Again, I selected plate, this icon, drag and drop. So if we do that, it's automatically positioned or fixed initially. So notice this is our origin, and for the origin, so our next goal is to position Okay, hoping everyone can follow along. So for my assembly, notice when I select origin and the origin of our assembly and the origin of our plate is not coincident. So with that, while this is currently fixed, so again, let me share the challenge for everyone to follow along. Okay, so going back again, notice that the our assembly's origin and the origin of my plate is currently not coincident. So selecting both of these origins. Next, selecting mate and making sure align axis is selected. So now the XYZ of this XYZ of our assembly and our plate is currently coinciding with each other. And making this part, of course, fixed. So next step would be bringing in another method of bringing in parts into our assembly document. Is heading over to the assembly tab, heading over to assembly, and selecting insert components. So here, let me get back to Brielle in a while. Let's select link. So selecting link, and when I move to the right and I left click once more, I am dropping or inserting that second part into the assembly. Okay, let's help out Brielle, sharing Brielle's screen. Okay, so for Brielle already placed all of the parts. Okay, so for Brielle, I suggest let's focus first. Let me share my screen. Let's focus first with this first part. So selecting mate. So the intent is to have this cylinder to be inserted here on this hole, right? So selecting mate. My next intent is to select this face. And this circular edge. So notice I have selected again those edges. So again, let me repeat. So notice as well on your left pane, you can see the mates added. So currently, I have the coincident and concentric mates. So again, let me delete. Yes to all. I want you to redo what I did. So same with Brielle. Let's wait for Brielle. Again, showing you the drawing. Okay, so showing Brielle's work. Okay, so for Brielle, again, the distance should be 10 and 15, right? So if that happens, we need to do a revision. So Brielle, I want you to head back to that part, not that. It's probably this. Select that. Is it Boss Extrude 2? Okay, select Boss Extrude 2. Boss Extrude 2. Select Edit Feature. Hover over that. Right click. Okay, and add 2.5. 2.5 plus 15. Plus, not X. Okay. 15. So notice, again, when we go back to the assembly, it will update. So hit the green check mark, Brielle. Okay, select measure. Select this face and the top of that cylinder. Oh, so it's now 15, right? Okay, I want you to edit Boss Extrude 3.2. Exit out, select Boss Extrude 3. Okay, and add that 2.5. Yep, and 10. Okay, and go back to our assembly. Go back to your assembly. Control Tab. Escape. So notice, currently it was having an interference. So now it is updated. So same procedure, Brielle. I want you to place the other link to the other hole. Yep, you may also bring that in. So again, showing you the challenge. So let me catch up. Showing you my screen. So another way again, insert component. Let's bring in link once more. Or another way to bring in link is I'm going to select link on my browser 3 and hold control and move to our canvas. So I now have that copy of link. So that's another method. So repeating the procedure. Selecting this face and this cylindrical face. Applying concentric. So next, selecting this face and this edge, selecting coincident, and of course, finally, let me show you another way. Again, the previous method of bringing in components, selecting Alt, selecting Window, tile horizontally, and let's grab cross-link. Notice my cursor or my mouse is hovering over this icon, left click and hold, and moving to where our assembly window is. So release. Let's maximize this window. Yep, let's check Brielle's work. So Brielle, same procedure, sharing Brielle's screen. Okay, so I have gone ahead and added the cross link again. Selecting mate, I can select this edge and this cylinder's edge and hit the green check mark. So feel free to experiment. And again, once more, practice. Okay, so hoping you have completed the assembly. Again, just to inform everyone, this is already predefined, right? So we already know what the dimensions, the details of those parts. And of course, there are always an instance wherein we start with the sketch. That's why I gave an assignment for everyone to create this as a in a single sketch. So let's now discover how to create this. So challenging everyone once more to create this in a single sketch. Okay, Brielle, follow along. Control N. So this will be a sort of, I think, difficult for Brielle. Control N. Let's now hit Control N. Requesting everyone to screen capture. So my turn, Control N. Selecting part. Okay, let's sketch on the front plane. So again, so in this instance, this is a recap and challenge for everyone to apply their knowledge in relations. So, okay, so let's start out with a center rectangle. And targeting to sketch on. Let's sketch on the front plane. Control 8 for view normal 2. Let's now add the dimensions. $60. Or I can have these two lines equal in length, but let's follow what the drawing is. So with this highlighted, I'm going to select this dimension, so making them both equal to. And I prefer creating the detail here for this cut extrusion. Let's add the dimension, which is 50. This one to be 50 as well. So resizing to check. So my next intent, I would like the midpoint of this line and our origin aligned vertically. So notice if I move this, it's perfectly symmetrical or in symmetry. Next, let's add the dimension here, which is 20. And the dimension for these 2 points to be 40. So instead of recreating this below, my next intent is to simply create the cut extrusion on this right side. Because what I intend to do later is to mirror them out. So again, that's why make it a habit to always position things at the center or middle. Okay, for you to be given the opportunity to save time by mirroring. Hi po, na-add ma-dashboard ko po yung course na parts. Yep, I think for Miss Angeli, we have enrolled you to 2 courses for everyone to master sketching and part modeling. So hoping you can also finish that course. It will help you, definitely. It will help you in preparing you to take the CSWA exam. Oh, Brielle is already done. So showing Brielle's work. So let me catch up. Creating a rectangle here. So next, suggesting for Brielle, you now create the yoke. So what's the dimension? This to be 6. and this to be 24. So again, I'm going to be selecting the midpoint of this line and our origin, aligning them horizontally, and now creating a mirror line from this midpoint all the way here, making sure this is a construction geometry. So repeat, line again from this endpoint, from that midpoint to this midpoint, turning this into a construction geometry. Next, let's select mirror entities up above. Mirror entities. Okay, and for entities to mirror, I'm going to be selecting this line, this line, this diagonal line, activating mirror about, and that mirror about will be this horizontal construction geometry line. So hitting enter. Let's repeat. Mirror entities, selecting this line, this line, this line, activating mirror about, selecting this vertical line, selecting the green check mark. So next, let's create an arc. So hitting S, selecting 3-point arc. I prefer dropping our first point coincident to this horizontal line. So also I notice based on our drawing, the center point of this arc is coincident with the midpoint of this line. But first, let's add a dimension. This to be 24. Selecting this point, the center point of this arc, and this midpoint. Let's have them coincident. Next, I prefer offsetting this arc. So any value will do. And I'm going to delete that created dimension. Same with this relation. Again, this relation, hitting delete. Let's resize this. Again, I am resizing the arc I have currently created. Next, I'm going to create a rectangle from this point to this point. Next, my next intent is to trim this out. Selecting trim entities, holding my left mouse button to paint, zooming in. So next, as I hover over this relation, notice it turns into a different color, which means it has a relation. So my next intent is, let's place that arc, which is 36. So making sure this point and this point are both coincident. Next, let's select this midpoint. And I prefer selecting our origin, making them aligned vertically. Okay? Hoping everyone is following along. Again, showing you the challenge. So we have a 24. $36. Okay, going back again. This should be 24. So I'm planning again once more to create, to utilize the mirror command. So let me now focus creating an arc on this area. So making sure these two arcs are both tangent. Diameter or the radius for this is 4. Next, I'm gonna create lines from here, moving up. And of course, making this line vertical. Let's add dimensions. S. Selecting Smart Dimensions, selecting this horizontal line and this horizontal line. On the drawing, it says 80. And this vertical line to be 16. So I am kind of seeing, what if I align this point and this point horizontally? Let's check. I am also seeing that possibly the center point of this arc should also be coincident with the center point or concentric. So let's check. Selecting these two arcs, making them concentric. So it turned into black, which is correct. We're doing the right thing. Next, let's add fillets. Although actually, I'm seeing these fillets were later added when this is a 3D model. So, but for this learning purpose, let's add the fillet right away. But definitely next time, fillets are added later as you finish the model. It is later being added. It's not something that is added right away. Of course, it depends on the design intent. Okay, going back, let me select sketch fillet, selecting this line and this arc. Typing in 4. Hitting enter. And now this time, let's grab the mirror command. Okay, so let me delete this arc. Selecting mirror entities, selecting this arc, this line, and this arc. Activating mirror about, so left clicking here, selecting this vertical line, and hitting the green check mark. So we have piece protruding. Let's trim this out by selecting trim entities or hitting S, left click and hold, making sure it's power trim, hitting the green check mark. And for that shaft, instead of creating it right away somewhere here, the request would be creating this above. So creating a rectangle here, another rectangle, so making this midpoint, selecting this midpoint and the midpoint of this line. Let's align them both vertically. Let's grab our smart dimension. This to be 20. This to be 100. Okay, let's move to Brielle's work. Okay, Brielle, that's 80, right? It's 80. Yeah. You create now the shaft. Okay, again, sharing my screen. Let me grab this point and move this up. Selecting smart dimension. Diameter to be 24. The diameter for this to be 12. Next, I want this to be aligned as well vertically. So any of the midpoints of these lines. So selecting, I prefer this midpoint. And our origin, aligning them vertically. So looks nice. Let's wait for Brielle. Happy New Year to Sir Carl Joseph Sebastian. Thank you, sir. So, I guess I'm sure you also know that for this sketch we need a an axis. So let's do that later. So let me just quickly exit out of our sketch. Under features, selecting extruded boss base. Okay, let me twirl this down, selecting sketch 1. Okay, left click on sketch 1. So now if I go back to our sketch, I hover. Let's select this contour. Okay, I have selected this contour, knowing, of course, that definitely this will be this is the parent component, right? Wherein the yoke will attach or will slide into. So, direction, mid-plane, distance, 100. Hitting enter or selecting the green check mark. Again, sketch consumed. So it is actually still intact, just the visibility is turned off. Okay? And notice we have created one solid body. So next, I'm going to turn off the visibility of this solid body, selecting hide. Okay, so let's help out Brielle, sharing Brielle's screen. So for Brielle, I suggest you select any of those horizontal lines. Select a midpoint. And that midpoint, yep, zoom out. Align it. Select the origin. Zoom out. Yeah, select this origin. Yeah. And align them. Select vertical. vertical. So is it aligned already vertically? So let me go back to sketch and demonstrate to Brielle. Brielle, I have selected this, the midpoint and the origin. Aligning them vertically because my next plan is to create a Boolean operation. So also please check, Brielle, if the form is complete. So whenever I move, let me share my screen. So notice this is in its full form, right? Done? So in this instance, it doesn't need to be fully defined. Okay, so exiting out of the sketch once more. And recall, I have turned off the visibility of our solid body. And let me turn on the visibility or show the visibility of our sketch 1. So going to extruded boss base, twirling this. Our browser 3. Selecting sketch. Okay, hovering over our sketch, selecting this contour, and this contour. Control 7. Again, direction to be mid-plane. Thickness to be 20. So notice we have created the second body, which is boss extrude 2. We now have 2 bodies. Let me turn on the visibility of boss extrude 1. Okay, and finally, of course, this is not an extrusion. So let's go back to sketch 1, edit sketch, and for the revolve command, definitely it requires an axis. So let's create a line that will serve as the axis. So exiting out of our sketch, selecting, let's look for revolve. So again, when we hit S, it's sort of search, right? So S, R-E-V. So we can search commands. So selecting revolve boss base. I really do prefer selecting the sketch itself. So for the axis of revolution, selecting this line. And for the contours, I activated contours. Notice it's currently highlighted in blue. Selecting this contour and this contour. Okay, so again, line axis of revolution, that symmetry line, that vertical line at the middle or center, selecting the green check mark. So checking Brielle's work. Okay, so for Brielle, I think you forgot to add that detail. So again, I want you to select Edit Feature. Right-click Edit Feature. And add that contour. Yes, that's right. Add that contour. Okay, select that. Zoom in. Okay. Green check mark. And then I want you to turn off solid bodies. 1. Twirl that. No, not actually the folder, but just the part. The body. Yep. Okay. Now again, go back to extrusion. Okay, so next, of course, Brielle, create the revolve part. Yep. Yeah, waiting for Brielle. Yep. I think the vertical line, your axis should be a solid line, not a construction geometry. Yep, okay. Are you done with the revolve? Revolve that. So now, right now, sharing my screen. Let's help out Brielle. Okay, so sharing, we're still looking at Brielle's screen. I want you to turn on, Brielle, turn on all the visibility of the bodies. Okay, exit now. Out of the sketch. Later, Brielle, later. So that should be done later. Exit out. Okay, from here, turn on the visibility of the other body. Okay. So with that, let's focus first on the base. Let's name this as the base. So I want you to select base. Yep. Right click. Not there. Under bodies. So head over to bodies. Bodies. There you go. Right click. And insert into new part. So let me share my screen. So our next target is turning this into a part. So for our attack would be, I have selected boss extrude 1. I'm going to be selecting insert into new part. And I'm going to name this as base. I have created another folder naming this as base. Hitting the green check mark. Selecting yes. So notice we have created a new part coming from our multi-body part. So I know that because under my folder, base is now created. So base created. Let me just hit Alt window, tile horizontally. Let me close the other parts. Closing this. Let me close. So for Brielle, I want you to hit yes. Okay, so the name is currently boss extrude. But of course, guys, make it a habit to rename items. So I'm going to close this too. So let's go back to our multi-body, the initial part that we have created. So this is what I have recreated. So let's go back to part 4. Again, next, selecting boss extrude 2. Right click, insert into new part. So for its name, saving this as, let's say, slider. Selecting yes. So we now have slider as well. So going back to our multi-body, selecting revolve 3, right click, insert into new part. Let's name this as shaft. Just a personal preference. Are you done with everything, Brielle? Okay, currently you are seeing my screen, so window, tile horizontally. So from here, my attack would be, I'll be creating now I'll be creating now the assembly. So how about you, Brielle? Is everything complete? Rename that. Sharing Brielle's screen. Rename that to shaft. So the problem with Brielle is she did not create a folder to where she should be dumping all her files to be organized. Okay, so sharing my screen. Let's now create the assembly file. So Control N, selecting. Again, Control N, selecting assembly. You really need a decent computer for SolidWorks. But for me, I guess it's more burden for my hardware because we're also doing live. So I have here now the assembly. So selecting base, I double left clicked base this time, selecting the green check mark. So when I do that, it automatically aligns the origins. So if I select this and select the origin of the assembly, notice it's already been fixed and both of the origins are aligned coincidentally. Yes, Brielle, what's your question?
We need another hole here.
Yeah, so for the holes, Brielle is asking about the holes. So later, we'll be doing revisions, yes, to demonstrate. So we're now done with inserting the base. So I'm going to hit Control S to name this. I've already created a folder. Let me name this as ASCII slider. So hitting save. So I now have ASCII slider. So let me quickly show you the contents of my folder. We have now the, making this as a large icon. We now have the ASCII, the assembly part, the assembly, the 3 parts, okay, and the original multi-body part. I think I have saved it outside of my folder. So going back, let me arrange this. So this is actually named as part 4. I haven't saved this one. So hitting Control S. Let me save this now as multi-body. Okay, let's go back to our assembly. Maximizing this into view. Let's insert component. The next would be the slider. Okay, Brielle, I want you to bring in slider. Have you created the assembly? Control N. Create the assembly.
I want the house.
Oh, let me share Brielle's screen. So to prevent confusion, hit escape Brielle. Let's okay. But have you aligned the origin of the base with the origin of the assembly? I don't know. So for Brielle, let's do a repeat. What I want you to do is double click base. Just simply double click base. Okay. So the mistake there is you moved your mouse to the canvas. But if you just simply double click base, tick, double click base. So let's repeat. Okay. Selecting yes. Insert components, double click base, and hit the green check mark right away. So notice it's already fixed and the origin of the two are already coincident. So next, you may insert another components. Brielle, insert the components. So sharing my screen, going back. So next, let's have this sliding with the base. So probably I'm going to select this face, and this face. And another one would be, I'll probably be selecting this face and this face, hitting the green check mark. So let's check. Of course, there are also other way we may align. So again, same with the concept of relations. I'm going to go to mates. I'm going to delete the mates that I have selected. Yes to all. So another way, probably, I'm going to select, because I know it is at the center, I'm going to select the right plane and the right plane of these two components to align them. Okay, so it is now aligned. And next would probably be applying mate. I prefer this face and this face. So it really depends on your attack. So we're having the same result. Okay, let's go back to Brielle. Oh, you now apply the mates. Okay, so next, going back to my screen. So Brielle was asking, when are we going to create the holes? So from here, we can now finally create those holes. So for slider, Brielle, I want you to select slider on the browser tree. I want you to select edit part. edit part. So notice the words under the slider are all in blue color. I want you to select this top face, select sketch. So from here, let's now create that circle. And because we made things a habit to be always at the center, so good thing, right? The origin for this part as well is in the center. Save and continue for Brielle. So what's the diameter? It's 12. So let's now create the cut extrusion. Selecting extruded cut. And for the direction, let's select up to surface, up to this face. Selecting the green check mark. So we're done revising for slider. Exiting out of our in place edit. So next, I have it brought in the shaft, selecting insert component, selecting shaft. So of course here, finally, I'm going to select this face and this face, selecting concentric. So previously we created an in-place edit. So for just to make things more interesting, I prefer selecting shaft and opening this as an isolated part. So previously we selected edit part. So now let's discover open part. So with open part, I'm going to select, again, based on our drawing, I'm going to select the right plane, sketching on our right plane, creating a circle here, diameter to be 5. It is 5. So moving this, so notice it needs to have a vertical constraint. So recall when we have created this part as a multi-body, recall the distance of this sketch with our origin. So selecting the origin, aligning them vertically. And there's another dimension coming from this edge to be 5 or 20. It's actually 10. Sorry. So again, creating a cut extrusion, selecting extruded cut. Direction 1, I prefer through all both. And hit the green check mark. Control 7 for isometric view. Control S for save. So selecting rebuild, and notice when we go back to our assembly, the hole on that shaft is now reflected. Okay, so initially we have created a predefined assembly. Now, multi-body modeling is, of course, a very common way of doing assembly. So, showing you also the remote control, right? This remote control probably, and I think this is typically, multi-body modeling is typically utilized for the initial conception or creation of this assembly. So it is reminiscent as well when we create a floor plan, right? So we create the 2D floor plan, and from that we do extrusion of the walls. So what we have learned today is, again, the attack of creating a single sketch and turning those contours as separate parts. So I hope this assembly training is enough for you to be inspired and to continue studying and preparing for CSWA. So again, as an announcement, for all who have submitted the required assignments, like what we are seeing right now, it's a guarantee we will be giving away CSWA exams. So congratulations to everyone. Hoping you pass the exam. In Philippine peso, it's around 6,000 pesos, right? So congratulations to everyone. Again, it will be hopefully given before this year ends. So if you have submitted the required tasks, definitely you'll be receiving the voucher code for the CSWA. So even me myself haven't taken the exam, so I'll probably be taking it with you. So it's a great Christmas gift coming from our friends from SolidWorks. So I'm actually seeing it here now. It's 6,000 pesos. So hoping next year you get to pass the exam. And of course, all of the courses, the required tasks are in the Digital Creatives Learning course, right? So feel free to head back there. Okay, definitely we will be having another live stream for updates. And of course, we have your contact details, right? So we will be contacting you for if ever there are some additional details. Okay, so once more, ayan. Happy New Year, everyone. And looking forward to see you getting the CSWA certification. Okay, so if you have any more questions, then feel free to message me in LinkedIn. And probably later this evening or tomorrow, we will be giving out the LinkedIn Business Premium subscription. And of course, before we end this, the first winner is Amruta Subramanian. So if you're still there, Amruta, please message me in LinkedIn before this live stream ends. Otherwise, the prize is void. Okay, hoping you're still there, Amruta. And of course, this LinkedIn Learning subscription, business premium subscription, is also a great way to help you out. Learn more about SolidWorks. So again, showing you the courses available for learning SolidWorks. I think they have a certification prep as well inside the library. So yeah, I'm seeing here CSWP exam as well. Yeah, here it is, CSWA. So there's also a SolidWorks certification prep to help you pass the CSWA exam. Who's that again? Our second winner, Sir Rojan J. Sir? If you're still there, you have to message me before this live stream ends. Ayan, Sir Ivan. Congratulations to Sir Ivan Israel Vicencio. Please message me in LinkedIn. Sir Carl, meron ka pa rin ba? If ever, Sir Carl, you still have the subscription, probably next year, I'll just reassign to you. But if not, okay. Congratulations and Happy New Year. Hello, Amrutha. Congratulations for winning a business premium subscription. Ma'am Angeli, I think you're already a winner, diba? Not sure. But of course, again, please message me in LinkedIn to claim your prize. Ayan. Happy New Year, Sir Carl. JN is already a winner. Sino pa ba? Who else? Sir J, I think you're already a winner. Just message me then, Sir J. Sir JFPV. Message me in LinkedIn. Who else? Ezekiel. That I'm not sure, Sir Ivan. I think anyone can message me in LinkedIn. I'm in open profile. If you have a business subscription, anyone can message you without the need for verification. Engineer, you're very lucky. MB, Sir MB. Congratulations to Sir MB. So again, requesting everyone, like what John did a while ago, I think what he lacks is the assembly, right? So stay tuned as well on our Facebook group for you to be updated. Like for Sir John Barbacena, what he only lacks now is, of course, the assigned task for today, which is the assembly. So it's already a guarantee that he will be receiving the CSWA exam. So for that CSWA, it's actually a voucher that will be a coupon code that will be given. So it's simple as that. Okay, so for our final winner, AD3 Talks, I think you already won. So I think everyone will be receiving a business premium subscription. So congratulations to everyone. Yes, Sir J. Sir JM is already a guarantee to you. Ayan, pamasko. Please message me, Sir JM, in LinkedIn for the link. Sir JA as well. Jan Amiel. Message me in LinkedIn for me to give you the form. I think you're already familiar with the form, right? So I'll be waiting for you. And again, probably this evening or tomorrow, we will be sending out the links for your 3 months business premium subscription. Okay. Oh, like what happened right now. Amruta has already messaged me. So, yeah, pleased to meet you, Amruta. And congratulations. So, once more, thank you so much. And hoping you pass. Please prepare, study, do exercises for that CSWA. Sayang din yan. It's a blessing coming from SolidWorks. So, again, thank you so much to our friends from SolidWorks. And hoping to see you, or hoping for your recommendation or your referral for us to train more into SolidWorks. So again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone. Hoping to see you on our upcoming in-person or live events. Okay? Thank you, sir. See you.
You have things to make, from the practical to the incredible. Imagining the biggest ideas right down to the tiniest details, you make real things for the real world. We have the design solutions to make them happen, bringing your visions to life, quickly, easily, accurately, wherever and whenever inspiration strikes. SolidWorks was built by engineers and designers, for engineers and designers, a global but close-knit community of learners, teachers, doers, and makers who care about camaraderie as much as we care about technology, and we care a lot. But turning the hypothetical into the physical is a team sport. That's why we're consistently enhancing our software based on your direct feedback, infusing it with the latest technology, and increasing its capabilities to meet your specific needs. For more than 30 years, we've been evolving with you, making product development more accessible, scalable, sustainable, enjoyable, investing in the future, your future, with cloud technologies, real-time collaboration, artificial intelligence, and beyond. And we're just getting started. SolidWorks is everywhere. Whoever you are, whatever you need, we've got it covered. You make the future. We help make it possible.
Hey teachers and students, I'm Jason Poole and I'm an industrial designer. I've had a lot of fun throughout my entire career, from being able to design things like video games, motorcycles, automotive design, and even some furniture design. And you know what? One thing that has really helped make me successful is a tool that I use called SolidWorks. They now have brand new tools that are powered by the 3D Experience platform. That's a platform that's 100% cloud-based that enables you to design, create, and collaborate anywhere, anytime, and from any device. You get 3D Designer, that includes 3D Creator, and my personal favorite, 3D Sculptor. The best thing about these X apps is that they work directly with SolidWorks, making your workflow that much more powerful. Reminder, these tools can easily work on any device. You might be like me, and whenever you start something new, it might be a little daunting or even a little scary, but have no fear. You are not alone when you start your journey on the 3D Experience platform. You have access to tons of great learning material and solutions. These will definitely help you get started with your learning process. You can totally use the communities to post your work, get inspired, or just interact with other students and even professionals that are using the same tools. By studying SolidWorks, I was able to fulfill my dreams of becoming a designer. So students, if you want to have fun and have a career that enables you to design, create, and build a better world, you really need to check out the 3D Experience Education offer. You can learn more by visiting solidworks.com/3dx_edu.
It's very easy to become a startup nowadays, just because of the technology that we have. You can sell online, you don't have to rent a store. It's very easy, but because of that, it means that everyone's trying to do it. So you've got a lot more competition to become a business now, and now you've got to stand out. You've got to be a cut above the rest. I'm Josh Shires, and I went to Oxford Brookes University in Oxford, and I've just created my first product, Musicase by Mouse. Mouse was actually a kind of a personal issue that I had. I genuinely got fed up of losing my headphones on the half-an-hour bus trip to my university, and I thought, I'm studying engineering, why don't I do something about it? So I used the tools at hand, which happened to be SolidWorks, and started designing.
My name is James Roberts. I went to Loughborough University and I graduated in product design and technology. And at the moment I am a design innovationist, and I have been doing this whole thing on SolidWorks. In my final year of university, I came up and developed MUM, which is an inflatable incubator made for the developing world. And basically the main point of it is that instead of £30,000, which is normal cost of incubators, mine costs about 250. There are nearly all of the incubator benefited from SolidWorks and CAD, from the volume actually containing the incubator in the outer shells to actually having to make sure that this could withstand a plane ride to Syria and maybe being dropped out of a plane from a care package.
When I started using SolidWorks to create Mouse, it brings things to life. You've got this thing in your head, this dream, and you start putting it onto a CAD program and creating a 3D model. You can really start to feel, oh wow, this could potentially be something. And also seeing the problems that emerge from it as well. So being able to revolve around the parts, the assemblies and section views, it all starts to be a great tool in problem solving. It feels great seeing your model in there. I think that's one of the first sort of adrenaline rushes. Nowadays technology moves so fast, and the market that we're in moves incredibly fast. A company will bring out a new phone every 6 months, and you've got to be on the ball. So I think being able to iterate quickly and design quickly is one of the biggest advantages.
SolidWorks really helped inspire me in that I knew from the outset that I could actually achieve this in a CAD program. I didn't have that whole, oh no, I've got to go into CAD now, it's going to be horrible. Instead, it was more of a joy to use. There are two parts where I think SolidWorks really helped me. One of them was for all the attachments for the functional model, which is more of the 3D printing parts, and without those I couldn't have actually tested if it actually works as an incubator. The second was when I was making the shells to actually contain the inflatable body. I had to make sure that the volume inside was large enough to hold the inflatable piece, and SolidWorks could tell me instantly if that would work.
One of the biggest challenges we had is the fact that you're making a protective case and it needs to fit someone else's product very well, with a very tight tolerance, and also the foam tolerance varies by 0.2 of a millimetre. So you've got to make something that compensates for that. Being able to take your model into a drawing in SolidWorks very rapidly and create tolerances for your manufacturer is a great benefit. SolidWorks helped validate one of our biggest problems after our first production batch, in that we were trying to create a snap feature, and it's kind of a bit of a guessing game in my experience of kind of how the plastics are going to warp and snap together. So I did a bit of FEA on a snap-fit feature and kind of discovered that the distortions and the displacements were far bigger than anticipated. For me, it was the community of SolidWorks that really helped, because there were things that I wasn't sure how to do, and so I'd research the community of, I want to do this, how do I do this? And with SolidWorks, there's such a big community that ideas were almost kind of inspired by it. So I'd be like, I could design it like that. This guy's done this, this guy's done that. I could take that and use that sort of principle and technique in the SolidWorks software.
Someone from Dyson actually looked around my university at the degree show and said to me, could you please enter the award? We like this project, it could fit in with us really well. And I was like, wow, this is amazing, I'll definitely do that. And then Sir James Dyson himself, who's one of my personal heroes, actually invited me down to his warehouse in Malmesbury. So I went down there, I was really nervous, shook his hand, I was like, how are you? Kind of a inspiring person to me, and showed him how it all works, took him throughout the whole thing, and then he surprised me, just stuck his hand out and said, well done James, you've won, and it just blew me away.
Congratulations.
And having someone like James Dyson say this product could actually do something great is a huge achievement, and it's just given me so much credibility in the world. SolidWorks in school isn't just important for what me and Josh do in engineering design. I had friends from all over the university wanting me to show them how to use SolidWorks just in normal everyday lives. I mean, there's people trying to make their own things all the time at the moment.
It's just a great tool for a 3D world.
Yeah, definitely. No one likes theory. It's boring, of course.
Seeing it in use.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it faster and it's just more interesting for everybody. You engage in it, which is a big part of learning.
I was going to say that when I thought
3D experience.